Let me ask you something, and answer it honestly, not to me, but to yourself. When you fail, how do you speak to yourself? Not when you're winning, not when everything is going right, but when you mess up, when you fall short, when you disappoint yourself. What does that voice inside your head sound like? For many people, it's brutal, stupid, lazy, weak, behind, not good enough. And somewhere deep down, you believe that voice is necessary. You think, if I'm not hard on myself, I'll become soft. I'll lose my edge. I'll stop improving. But here's the truth many people learn only after burnout. That voice isn't sharpening you. It's slowly breaking you. Many of us were taught early that success comes from pressure. Excellence requires self-criticism. Pain is productive. So we built a system where cruelty equals discipline. And from the outside, it can look like discipline. You grind, you push, you hold yourself to high standards. But internally, it's war. You can't rest because you don't feel like you deserve it. You can't celebrate wins because they never feel like enough. You can't take risks because failure doesn't feel like a mistake. It feels like an attack on your identity. Think of a simple moment. You mess up at work. You forget something. You say the wrong thing in a meeting. You miss a deadline. And your mind doesn't just correct the behavior. It attacks your worth. It replays the mistake like punishment is the price of improvement. But punishment doesn't build skill. It builds fear. And fear doesn't create growth. It creates avoidance. Psychologist Kristin Neff has spent years studying this pattern. Her research shows something surprising. People who treat themselves with compassion don't become lazy. They become more resilient. They recover faster. They take responsibility without collapsing under shame. Self-compassion doesn't remove standards. It removes internal violence. Harsh self-criticism activates a threat response in the body. Your nervous system tightens. Thinking narrows. Creativity drops. You become rigid, defensive, or shut down. That's why being hard on yourself often makes things worse. When your brain is in survival mode, you don't learn well. You freeze, avoid, procrastinate. Then you criticize yourself for that too, and the cycle continues. Many people think they lack discipline. What they actually lack is psychological safety. One distinction changes everything. Guilt says, I did something wrong. Shame says, I am something wrong. Guilt helps adjust behavior. Shame shrinks identity. When mistakes trigger shame, you protect yourself instead of improving. But when you respond with compassion, something shifts. Your system calms. You think clearly, you learn, you try again. Remember this framework: compassionate accountability, holding yourself responsible without attacking your worth. Not softer standards, stronger foundations. Because the person you want to become, disciplined, confident, resilient, cannot grow in a hostile inner environment. You cannot hate yourself into healing. You cannot shame yourself into confidence. If that worked, it would have worked by now. Neff describes self-compassion as having 3 parts. First, self-kindness. Replacing harsh judgment with understanding. Not, I'm pathetic, but I made a mistake. It hurts. It doesn't define me. Second, common humanity. Failure convinces you you're uniquely flawed, but struggle is universal. Every person you admire has failed privately and publicly. Third, mindfulness. Acknowledging pain without exaggerating or suppressing it. Simply noticing, this hurts. I feel ashamed. That awareness creates space, and in that space you choose your response. The same applies in relationships. You say something you regret. You get reactive. You shut down. The inner critic says, you always ruin things. You'll never change. That doesn't make you better. It makes you guarded. Compassionate accountability sounds different. What I did wasn't okay, and I'll repair it. I can learn from this. It doesn't excuse behavior. It makes repair possible. Here's a simple exercise when your inner critic shows up. Step 1, pause. Step 2, write down exactly what the critic says. Step 3. Imagine someone you love made the same mistake. Would you call them useless? Tell them they'll never change? Of course not. Step 4. Rewrite the script. Answer yourself the way you would answer a friend. Yes, it may feel awkward. That's because your brain is used to attack mode. This is retraining. Another shift is defining good enough. Perfectionism is often shame wearing a mask. If you never define enough, you'll never arrive. Your standards keep moving, and your self-worth stays conditional. So decide, what does good enough look like today? Do that, then stop. When you mess up, really mess up, the instinct is to spiral. Instead, try this sequence. First, state the facts. I made a mistake. Second, validate the emotion. This hurts because it mattered. Third, remember common humanity. Everyone who tries fails. Fourth, offer kindness. This is hard, but I can learn. That isn't weakness, that's strength. Try this for 7 days. After any mistake, write 2 lines. Line 1, accountability. What was my part? Line 2, compassion. What would I say to a friend here? Then take 1 small repair action. 1 email, 1 apology, 1 adjustment. This trains your brain to link mistakes with learning, not identity collapse. So the next time you fail, and you will because you're human, don't ask, what's wrong with me? Ask, how can I respond in a way that helps me grow? Not because you give up on excellence, but because you stop getting in your own way. And if your inner voice has been a sniper for years, this won't change overnight. But it can change. 1 response at a time, 1 rep at a time.